Welcome back. We are here for our next forum, Candidates Forum. I'm Dr. Michael Bitzer, the moderator of tonight's forum, which is sponsored by the Salisbury Post, Rowan County Chamber of Commerce, and Catawba College. Tonight's forum, the second part, will be focused on the Republican candidates vying for the 3 nomination spots for the Rowan County Board of Commissioners. Each candidate will have 2 minutes for introductory remarks as well as concluding remarks, and we will divide the group into 2 groups of 4 with rotating questions among the candidates. Each candidate will keep track of their time with a clock position in front of us, and at the 2-minute mark, I will ask for time. Candidates have agreed to these conditions. We are also very pleased to have with us again an audience with us tonight. I've asked them, and they have also graciously agreed to the condition that they remain silent for the remainder of the forum, except for right now when I ask them to join me in welcoming our candidates. We will start with introductory remarks, and we will go in alphabetical order. And in the interest of time, if Mr. Calder, if you will start and make sure that the microphone gets passed to directly in front of you.
Is it working, folks? Yeah. Good evening. My name is Joe Colodorsi, and I'm running for County Commissioner. I moved here 3.5 years ago. I chose Rowan County as the place I wanted to live. I did that for a number of reasons. First off, we are centrally located in the middle of 3.4 million people. I say that because I run a small distribution business and service business, and that is an ideal reason to be here. That same reason is one of the things I believe is a good way to grow our economy here in Rowan. And I believe we should be soliciting all kinds of distribution centers to come here, using both our 85 corridor in the western part of our county because they have such good accessibility to 77. I am a Republican and I am a Tea Party candidate. Tea Party is not a political group, but it has the same fundamental ideas and values as our Republican Party does. And part of that is, as they say in a Tea Party, TEA, taxed enough already. Okay? It's in favor of small government, like our Republican Party. It's in favor in equal opportunity for people, like our Republican Party. It's in favor of one person, one vote, like our Republican Party. And I go on and on. It pretty much mirrors the North Carolina Republican platform. As a matter of fact, we found some good people from the Tea Party to help to grow the Republican Party here in Rowan. So with that, I'm asking for your vote this evening, and I hope that you will consider me.
Thank you. Mr. Cupp.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming out tonight. My name is Brandon Cupp. I am the owner of Cerberus Firearms here in Salisbury. I have a wonderful wife who is a teacher in the local school system, and I have 3 young children. We live in a beautiful county with many treasures. We also live in a place where each night we have people in this county who sit down at their dinner table wondering how they're going to pay the mortgage, how they're going to put gas in their gas tank, how they're going to feed their family or keep the lights on. Prosperity, as defined by Merriam-Webster, is the condition of being successful or thriving, especially economic well-being. A definition synonymous with comfort, security, well-being, and the good life. This is something every citizen in Rowan County deserves. To get there, we need to focus on education, employment for our workforce, and utilizing the assets that we have been afforded. It is within our grasp with the right leadership, using the skills and things we learn and know to be right in our daily lives. As a husband, I've learned that sometimes it's best to just shut up. As a father and the owner of a small business, I've learned many things like patience, planning, working within a budget, perseverance, listening, dedication, and passion. All of these skills lead to success and they equate to prosperity. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Eds.
Last month, I laid out a 6-point plan to begin to address our county's challenges. School improvement must be our top priority. Develop a countywide jobs and economic improvement plan, identify those jobs we can best compete for and pursue them relentlessly. Partner with our EDC and local colleges to build a workforce that is the envy of the region. Make sure our local regulations are necessary, cost-effective, and transparent to prospective employers. And for heaven's sake, let's begin to act like adults and direct our energies toward turning this economy around. We need to conduct a full court press on bringing an interchange to the southern end of our county. We have a 6-mile stretch between China Grove and Kannapolis that is locked off to I-85 business traffic. Open up that corridor, gold mine, and we grow our revenues. The Rowan County Airport is a diamond in the rough. It has the potential of bringing significant tax dollars to our entire county. Think about this. One corporate plane worth $20 million adds $125,000 worth of tax base. It would take 133 homes valued at $150,000 each to bring in this same amount. And planes don't have children to educate. Companies with planes bring jobs, and that's growing the pie. In December, I will appoint a quick strike task force made up of our top business minds in our community, and we have some great ones. Along with our EDC, this task force will define immediate, realistic, high-impact actions that will turn our economy around. And lastly, over the coming months, the 2 most important leaders in our community will be Dr. Lynn Moody, our school superintendent, and her board, Robert Van Giens of the EDC and his board, and the theme needs to be jobs and school improvement and jobs, school improvement and jobs. Please join us.
Thank you. Mr. Green.
First of all, I'd like to thank you all for being here. What we need in this county is voters to get out and to voice their opinions on whether they like what's going on, or whether they what they want to see the future of Rowan County to be like. My name is Jim Green. My wife and I, Karen, live in Cleveland. I have been in Rowan County since 1957. I've been in the insurance business for about 37, 38 years, and now I've added cattle farmer to my list of income. And probably the only customers that I've had that don't talk back to me. We have, I'm a West Rowan graduate and graduate of Catawba College, and after tonight they may take back my diploma, but I am happy to be here. I have 3 children who work and live in Rowan County. I have 7 grandchildren. I looked the other day, and I'm probably going to be involved in the school system to 2030 if I'm lucky enough to live that long. I'm well rooted in Rowan County, and they're the real reasons that I have undertaken this job of running for county commissioner. I'm on my 2nd term with Rowan County Economic Development Commission, and it's been a great education and very enjoyable. I have, from that aspect, taken great ideas of how to bring jobs into Rowan County. I have a way of bringing in jobs into Rowan County through private money with it to incentivize new building in Rowan County. And we're looking forward to making that an active part of our county.
Thank you. Ms. Closer.
Good evening. My name is Judy Klusman, and I am running for the Rowan County Commission because I think it's time for new leadership. And it's time for experienced leadership. That's the type of leadership that I can bring as a future, hopefully with your blessing, a future commissioner. I love this county. I love the communities within it, and I love the people. And in the last few months of campaigning, I have met thousands of people. People that have told me over and over and over again that we need to have county leaders who are willing to cooperate and collaborate and communicate so we can together with everyone in each and every corner of this county can come together to help bring jobs here, help to make our school system one of the best in the state. And we need to address poverty in this community. You know, it's easy to talk about jobs and education because we can get a pretty good hand on those. But when we start talking about poverty, it's just kind of like, oh, well, maybe a few people over there or some here. When you look at the statistics for our children in grade school, and you have 26% of them living in poverty, that, my friends, I think is unconscionable. Because those little minds can't learn if they're not fed. And thanks.
Thank you. Mr. Love.
I think everybody out there knows me as Johnny Love. I posted Jonathan Love because I wasn't real sure what I should do as far as my legal name when I filed for the candidacy. I've been married 29 years to the same woman, my best friend. I own a small business in this community, which my family has run for 40 years. And I've also been a Rowan County employee for 23 years. I've seen a lot of things change. I've seen a lot of things not change. We need to, I guess my favorite quote last time was, it's time for everybody to check their egos at the door and everybody start working together. If Rowan County and local government, the other municipalities went and worked together, it would take some of the tax burden off of everybody. So let's sit down and work out the problems that we have. School board included. We elect those people on the school board to educate and run that. Therefore, the only thing the county needs to do is fund what we can afford. I'm not saying give them a blank check, but fund what we can afford and let them do their job, educate our children, and not tell them how to do it. If it involved putting someone in jail, I can do that. If it involved your car not running, I can do that. I'm not an educator. I never claimed to be. I want to be there for the children to help them and make sure they get the education they deserve. As far as the rest of the things in the county, we need more business. The only way we're going to do that is streamline some of the problems that we have as far as the sewer and the water. That means, once again, we're going to have to work with the city. So let's partner up with them, make it easier for a business to come here, and put everybody back to work. Thank you very much.
Mr. Rogers.
Thank you. I'm David Roosh, running for the County Commission. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. I've had a wildly successful career in the pharmaceutical industry. I've had years of management experience. I have strong interpersonal skills, budgetary experience, negotiating and decision-making skills, strong communication. I have an in-depth working knowledge of how corporations and business thinks and works. This translates into the commission, how they deal with the various departments and deal with businesses that want to relocate here in this county. I have generations of family history in Rowan. I understand the diverse cultural differences that exist in this county. That helps me to understand the basic needs on how we need to move forward. In my business and personal life, I'm conservatively cautious. I'm a designer of ideas. I embrace risk-taking. and I'm confident in my decision-making skills when making these decisions to move things forward. I know county government needs a leader that supports communication with in-touch ideas, joint ownership of progress, contributing partnership within a governmental system. Government should work with corporations and cooperation, not confrontation. Progress is achieved, and progress will be achieved in this county if we move forward with ideas and not conflict.
Mr. Sykes.
To those of you that don't know who I am, I'm Jim Sides. I'm running for county commission. To quote Ronald Reagan, before I refuse to take your questions, I do have an opening statement. I've asked myself many times over the last few months, why do I want this job? The public abuse, the ridicule, the innuendos, the nasty comments on the blog post, the comedy routines making fun of the Lord and Savior that I believe in. I don't know that anyone ever had a problem with my being a Christian until I got elected county commissioner. Nobody ever claimed that I wasn't one until then. Why would anybody in their right mind want a job like this? The only answer I can give you tonight is the same answer I had when I ran for the job in 1980. I believe with all my heart I'm right where God wants me to be, doing what God wants me to do. I know that's probably foreign to some of you in the audience tonight, some of you looking at me like right now like a calf looking at a new gate. But folks, plain and simple, I've decided what I want to be when I grow up. I want to be a county commissioner. I'm living a dream. I do not believe there's ever been a Rowan County commissioner who held his position in more awe and respect and reverence than I do. I live and breathe this job day in, day out, day and night. I love doing what I do for the citizens of Rowan County. However, if my past record as a Christian, as a member of the Republican Party, as a member of the Tea Party, as a member of the Rowan County Board of Commissioners, if any of that offends you, then you're free to join the ranks of law resistance and vote me out of office. You probably would be doing me a favor. You certainly would free up a lot of my time that I could spend with my grandkids, and I know that'd make them happy. But as strange as it may sound to many of you, I do not want what is best for me. I do not want the free time as much as I want to continue to serve the citizens of this county for 4 more years. Thank you.
Thank you. Our questions come from the readers of the Salisbury Post, and we will start with Mr. Love and this end of the group for this first question. Yesterday, the commissioners and the school board approved a $40.5 million resolution for the school's capital needs. Why did this take so long? Why did a mediator have to become involved? And how will you seek to improve relations between the commission and the school board? Mr. Love.
Well, to be first, the biggest problem that I could see was there were too many people trying to be in control, too many people not open-minded and willing to sit down and work towards a common goal, which is our children and the education of them. We wasted 2 to 3 years on arguing. We wasted 2 to 3 years on building. Constructions went up how much? 10, 15% in the last 2 years? You're talking just for the building, $5 million. There's an extra $1 million that we spent because people did not want to sit down and discuss it and work it out and get along. That's the one thing that I would do different. If we get together and work towards a common goal, it doesn't take it near as long to happen. And I think that in the end, it came down to the same ending, even after 3 years. The time was wasted on arbitrators, the money was wasted, and I just can't see adult human beings that could not sit down and come together. It's time for us to stop all the fighting, all the arguing, and all the egos, and let's work, people. Let's make it happen. That's what managers really do, is make it happen. And as a county commissioner, that's what I would do for you. make it happen. Roll up your sleeves, sit down, and go to work, or either roll up your sleeves and jump in and go to work. But either way, that's what we've got to do, is make it happen. Thank you.
Mr. Bush.
$40 million seems to be a pretty central number. It's been that way. What do they do with $40 million, $40.5 million? And that's the education of the children in this county. That has to do with the physical plants, has to do with the salaries, it has to do with administration, it has to do with, to some extent, recruitment within the system itself. Everybody has a vision for education. Everybody wants their child to have the best possible education in this county. They want to have quality education. They don't want diversity between the various systems in the school. They want parity within the curriculum. The commission doesn't charge that responsibility. The commission funds the dollars for the school board, the superintendents, the administrators, the principals to create their vision. We find the tax dollars to fund this. Now, it's played out for a number of years. The school board has a vision, the commission has a vision. The school board's vision has to do with how they want to implement these dollars to create the best possible educational system. The commission wants to use this money so that the system can benefit from it. So what do we need to do? We need to create communication. We need to create an openness between the tax dollars and the application. So if we work together, we work towards creating the educational system that we all have the same vision for. We all want our children to be able to enjoy education and to move on. But the key to it is we have to work with this. We have to start with the platform and then we move forward. So it's cooperation, and it's communication. You have the tax fund, the dollars, and you have the vision. The two of them merge together and they mesh for progress and success.
Thank you. Mr. Sides.
Why did it take so long? If you're making $350 an hour, why hurry? That lawyer's going to walk away with $250,000. We didn't buy one school book. We didn't give one teacher a raise. We didn't hire one assistant in the classroom. $256,000. The county commissioners did not sue the school board, did not threaten to sue the school board. You got to remember, the school board threatened to sue the county commissioners. Therefore, mediation. Mediation was legally required. There are 5 commissioners. There are 7 school board members. Which 1 or 2 or 3 do you blame for it taking so long? This has been a 25-year problem. We've elected some of the smartest county commissioners that the world's ever known. They didn't fix the problems. They passed it on to us. I'm glad that we have the agreement on the $40.5 million, but folks, I'm telling you, it's not going to solve the problems of education in Rowan County. It takes 3 votes to do anything on the Board of Commissioners. I remember what a former county commissioner said one time: go out and get the most votes, be the most popular guy in town, come up here and be first in line. But when you get up here, remember, you got to be able to count to 3. So you can't blame 1 person or 2 persons or 3 persons. It takes those 7 people and the 5 people sitting down in a room and working things out. And I think that we had a good process. It was a long process because the lawyer wanted it that way. It was the mediation was a joke. And a lot of you people you weren't there. You don't know the inside. You don't know what I'm talking about. The mediation was a joke. This was all orchestrated by a lawyer who was paid $350 an hour, and it's your tax money, $256,000. I would not vote for a plan until I saw a way to pay for it without a tax increase. This plan will not result in a tax increase for the citizens of Rowan County.
Thank you. Ms. Clues.
Why did it take so long? 25 years. And I think when you go back in history, what we've been missing is the leadership that can bring parties together and sit down, hammer it out, figure it out together. Every person in this room and in this county has they have ownership of how our schools are run, and also with the county commission. I truly believe that leadership is the crux of this problem. We are losing teachers to Mecklenburg, to Virginia and South Carolina. We are starving our employees to the point where as soon as they get trained and they can earn more in the next county over, they're gone. There are at least 5 teachers, experienced teachers, that are leaving Salisbury High this year. So the bottom line for me, as someone who has a fresh look on what's gone on, is that you have to have leaders that are really willing to work together, and experienced leaders that are willing to bring that to the legislative body here in Rowan County.
Thank you. Our next question, we will start with Mr. Cuff. Yesterday, the superintendent of the Rowan-Salisbury school system publicly expressed a desire to transform the public schools by focusing on children aged 3 through high school. What do you think about her ambitions in this regard, and how would you be prepared to help her as a county commissioner? Mr. Cobb.
As a father of school-age children, I know how important it is. I sat here and I look back at my education experience and how, you know, where it was lacking, where it was strong. And then I've got a 3rd grade daughter, she brings home homework, and I've got a 1st grade son, and he brings home homework, and I see the work that our teachers put in. I don't think our problem is county-wide, it's more on a school-by-school basis. It's not all schools are testing the same. You know, it's not that we have a failing educational system here in Rowan County. I think it's a lot of different schools have different needs. There's, you know, schools that are lacking textbooks, where every child can't take a textbook home, where the teachers are having to copy pages on a copier and send it home with those students, and then they have to do homework that way. You can't get the full learning experience because there's nowhere, if you need a cross-reference to another part of the book, how are you going to do that? I've talked with Dr. Moody, and she has some great plans. It's the literacy rate is pretty dismal. You know, it's pretty high. The illiteracy rate for the school children is pretty high. I'd like to see a change there. You know, everybody needs to read. Everybody needs to learn to read. And I hope we can get this done in this upcoming election, where we can get some forward movement in our school education system.
Mr. Edds.
Had a couple of 2-hour meetings with Dr. Moody. I feel like if we were an NFL team, it's like we got a 1st-round draft pick, and we're able to get just a terrific person. She's a woman of vision, I believe. She's a true leader, and I think this community is very, very fortunate to have her here. You used the word, Dr. Bitzer, transform. The word transformative is something that I think this community is looking for. I had the opportunity to have breakfast a couple of weeks ago talking about building bridges with the school superintendent, Dr. Now I'm going to have to call his name. Kay Wright Norman, Susan Cox, and then also the superintendent of schools. We had over a two-hour discussion, and we talked about transformative things. I really encouraged them and told them that what this community is looking for is heroes in the education community. The community is looking to the school board and looking to Dr. Moody to set a new tone for education. I said when I announced that I was running for county commission that in the area of education that I wanted bold, sweeping changes. I wanted changes so bold that the community has to say we can't do that. And if we're not saying we can't do that, then we need to go back to the drawing board and start over. So transformative, just some things I wrote down. Bold and transformative is something that I think we need to do. So we need to get in behind her. We need to find out what we as county commissioners, I realize we don't make decisions, but what is missing, I believe, is the teachers and the school need to know that they have a partner in the county commission. And I will certainly be a willing and accomplice in the area of education.
Thank you. Mr. Gray.
I kid the folks at the school system that I'm an expert in education. I taught school for a year and a half, 38 years ago. So I can resolve all these problems. The truth of the matter is that we're not going to resolve the problem with all students in our schools because all students don't have the same background, they don't have the same family value, same families, and they do not have people who value education and will let them know that education is the way to pull themselves up from the bootstraps. In my family, I'm the first person to ever graduate from college. It's not an indictment of my family at all, but it just gives you an idea of the opportunities that have been made available to my generation. And I hope to goodness that we can have that same opportunity to the kids that are coming along now. But our school system was just ranked 68th in the state. We can argue about testing, we can argue about all kinds of things, but there's definitely something different has to happen. We have children with different learning needs or learning abilities, and whether it's magnet schools, I hadn't had a chance to talk with Dr. Moody about exactly what she's proposing, but I back the school systems. I think that we have to educate our children. That is one of our primary objectives as county commissioners. We have to have 21st century students to fill 21st century jobs. And we can only do that by improving our school system.
Thank you. Mr. Conders.
It's been a little while. Would you repeat the question again?
Yesterday, the superintendent publicly expressed a desire to transform the public schools by focusing on children aged 3 through high school. What do you think about her ambitions, and how would you be prepared to help her as a county commissioner?
Well, first off, as people have repeatedly said, Dr. Moody is a bright light, and I've said that myself in the past. I did get to speak with her for about an hour and a half. I tried not to take up too much of her time. I'm surprised that she's including people, young children, 3 and 4 years of age. That's something that is new to me here, so I don't even want to address that. I am, however, going to ask you folks a question. Here we sit. This argument we've had in the past about the central office and the funding of the schools and the intractable people that we call the county commissioners. There's only one problem. Our school board has been the same people, and they've had 4 votes or more, as Mr. Sides has said. They've had 4 votes or more for 12 to 20 years, and they didn't get the job done. in the last 10 years, our county commission is turned over with different people. So who is the intractable force here? We're laying the blame for everything on our county commission. Our school has failed for the last 20 years. When are you going to change your school system? When are you going to change your board of directors of the schools? Our post has never publicly questioned the chairman of the school board, Dr. Miller, but they repeatedly questioned Mr. Sides. I'm wondering why the questions aren't asked and the accountability isn't asked of the elected school board. It is no different than the elected county commissioners. So I consider some of that an unfair question.
Thank you. Our next question, we will start with Mr. Rouge. What is your vision for the former Salisbury Mall, and will you promise not to raise taxes to upgrade or redesign the building for either public or private businesses?
My vision for the Salisbury Mall, we have to look at a partnership with private industry and government use. If we're going to utilize the mall for the purposes that the mall is going to be, which is to house the various departments in the county government, then we have to look at joint partnership, because it just won't work to utilize that entire mall area. The infrastructure itself is suspect, and from my perspective, the mall itself was a questionable solution to the county needs for increased area for workspace, whether it be the health department, the board of elections, veterans affairs. You saw recently where one of the mall tenants has joined the effort with another small business, veterans coffee house. So the utilization of the mall is going to have to follow in that footsteps. The mall itself is going to, the infrastructure, as I spoke about earlier, is we're going to have to make some hard decisions about these tax dollars, which leads to the question, would I vote for a tax increase to renovate the mall, to continue the infrastructure, to upgrade it? I'm not in favor of raising taxes for the mall, period. I'm not in favor of the mall as a county governmental place, period. However, moving forward, the best plan would be to bring in joint partnership with people that have a understanding of how to best progress now that we have this. Taxes have a better use than to use for governmental agencies.
Thank you. Mr. Sides.
Well, I'm mistaken. I thought all taxes were used for governmental agencies, but maybe I don't know as much about what's going on as I thought I did. My plans for the mall, we did not have a strategic plan when we bought it. When the mall came available, it was a bid process. We didn't have a lot of time to get together. We didn't have time to put it on the ballot and go to the voters and ask their opinion. You elect commissioners. You have a representative form of government. You elect us to make a lot of decisions for you. We built a $6.5 million jail. We didn't go ask you, did you want us to do it? We consolidated the DSS building. We didn't put it on a ballot and ask you if you wanted us to do it. We built a new 911 center. We did a lot of things that a representative government does for the people that elects it. Now, you certainly have the right, if you don't agree with the things that we do, to take us out of office. And that's what I'd recommend that you do. If you're not happy with the leadership you have, you need to get new leadership. But let me tell you something. The mall was not a bad idea. When you can buy 329,000 square feet for $10 a square foot, and it's a 27-year-old building. My house is 40-some years old. It's not wore out. I'm not moving out. I'm going to plan to die there. But we intend to use the mall. We intend to develop a plan. We're in the process of doing that right now. We're forced by the school system to buy used buildings and repurpose them because they won't accept used buildings. They've got to have new ones. So we don't have any choice. And we had a capital improvement plan in 2005 that identified needs that we had across the county. Some of those haven't been met. We're going to meet those at the mall. And believe me, 5 years from now, some of you naysayers are going to be saying that's one of the best decisions we ever made.
Ms. Close.
We own them all. I opposed it. I think we paid at least $2 million more than we should have. And if we had let the business progress go, the process, we could have probably picked it up for $500,000. Pennies on the dollar. But we own them all. So now what do? We have to have a strategic plan. But even before that, we need to have construction engineering firm to come in there and figure out what is going to need to happen. Does this building have asbestos? Is it really going to be worth another $5 to $10 million to upfit it? We know that the roof needs to be replaced at $1.5 million. So I truly believe, to represent you as citizens in this area, we are honor bound to do that inspection and to get a true understanding of what it's going to cost. Then, if we decide to go forward, then we can put together that strategic plan and we can start to meet the needs of the county and the community. But here again, I just want to go back to how we find ourselves where we are. And I think it's lack of vision. I believe that this was an expensive purchase that is already going to cost us at least 1/2 cent next year.
Mr. Love.
I think I've made it pretty obvious out in the public that I believe Rowan County, first of all, should not be a landlord and should not be in the realty business and sure should not be in the retail business. Rowan County provides services for its people, and running stores, renting out stores, and running a mall is not a service that I can see the people of this community benefiting from. Mall is very expensive. The upkeep of a mall is very expensive. There's a reason that you anchor stores and all the other stores left, because there's too many problems, and there's a reason that the man that owned the mall didn't keep it up. It got too expensive. If you've ever remodeled your house or remodeled something and really done it right the way it's supposed to be, it costs a whole lot more to remodel than it does to build new. And with government buildings, there's a lot of laws and a lot of rules you have to follow that you don't follow at your own house. You think about all that space. Think about your house. If you didn't have the heat and air on year-round, people weren't in there year-round, you got to keep it up or it falls apart. Therefore, you got to do something with all that buildings and square footage, or it's going to fall apart. I can't see the benefit of remodeling and putting money into a 30-year-old building when you could probably build the same building big enough to house and do what you need to do as a government center cheaper than what you're going to spend on that. Yes, there's room to grow, and Lord knows this county needs to look at room to grow, because from what I've seen, nothing gets smaller. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next question, we will start with Mr. Eds. Do you agree with the County Commission's decision to buy the former Salisbury Mall? If elected, would you seek to sell or keep it? And if you choose to keep it, would you move a number of county employees out of downtown Salisbury to that facility?
threats. You know, the talk loud. You know, the unfortunate thing about this is this has become a real political and frankly an emotional issue. Didn't have to be that way. We had commissioners who very publicly and negatively attached to the mall a plan to empty out downtown Salisbury. There's a lot of you folks here that have investment in downtown Salisbury, and I understand the anger that provoked. I'd be mad too. I can only speak for myself and say that I will not allow that to happen. There's a lot of investment downtown. People have poured their life savings into investment downtown. We have whole industries, attorneys, accountants, around the court system, all of that downtown. That would be pretty disruptive. Other things, the question is, would I have bought it? There are a lot of issues that weren't handled properly, I don't think, would have had to have been before I would have put my name on it. First of all, Mr. Sides has said before in an article they believe they pay too much for it. If no one else was bidding, as we find out, what was the rush? Couldn't we back off and take some time? And now, finally, we are doing a strategic plan for it, and that's a good thing. The county is currently, they have ordered what's called a space needs analysis. That space needs analysis will tell the county how much space they project to have in need for the next 10 years. That's a good thing. And so using the plan, the master plan that they have ordered for this has got to be done. So in the end, spending time with Gary Page, I believe it can be a good thing, but it's up to us as leaders to make sure it's done right.
Thank you. Mr. Green.
We own the mall, and we're going to have to go forward with it, period. It is hard for me to sit here and second guess the county commissioners because I don't know the cost. I don't know what the plans were for the building in the future. So I would probably not have voted to buy the mall. I can't see the mall at the point that it's going to be a good return on our investment. But I was not involved with that. But we have to take it from the point now that we own it, and let's do what we can to see how it's going to be a benefit or an asset to Rowan County. Second part of the question, no, I would not pull jobs out of downtown Salisbury to go to the mall just to fill the mall up. And I think that answers the question.
Thank you. Mr. Calder's.
Okay. Well, first off, I have about 40 years experience owning apartments, repurposing buildings, and I might add, watching and listening. It seems that this same mall kind of purchase has happened in other parts of our state and South Carolina, all of which have been very, very successful. One of the differences might be that the innuendo and the false straw dogs that have been set up, one of which is an attorney or attorneys here fearful for their own real estate values, start to spread a rumor that the Justice Department is going to move to the mall. I was told from the very beginning that that wasn't going to happen. So you can keep throwing out straw dogs. Ms. Klusman here talks about asbestos. It actually has been, and I know this because I've asked, it has been verified that encapsulated asbestos, no problem in the mall, okay? Understand a few other things, and the best way to do it is to go and see what I've written on my website. But we're going to remodel a few places in the mall. The county commissioners are, and they estimate $50 a square foot. since it's the school board, I estimated $60 a square foot. The same 60,000 square foot that they say they need can be repurposed in part of the Belks building, only 3/4 of it, with the parking for $3,600,000 at 25% more than we're doing other work in the mall at $60. Someone needs to follow the money. Who owns North Main Street? What are they going to get for the land for the parking lot for this 60,000 square foot building on North Main Street?
Thank you. Mr. Cupp.
All right, to buy them all or not? That is the question. 4 months after the fact, I think I'd still be torn on whether to buy it or not. I think $3.45 million was, after a $1 million parcel had been sold off, was a little bit excessive considering 3 years ago, I believe the purchase price was around $2.5 million. But on the flip side, every person up here at this table has talked about bringing jobs into this county. Highway 70 through there is a wonderful place to bring corporations, and if you meet them uptown, the last thing you want them to see is a rundown, vacant, graffiti, boarded up building with weeds growing in the parking lot. So it's a double-edged sword. It's catch-22. I think now that the county owns it, we should do the best that we can with it. I personally would like to explore the possibility of a convention center. The great counties, the counties that are showing the greatest growth, they have convention centers. These corporations, large corporations, they need the meeting space. Plus you're also bringing in tourism dollars. That's dollars that come in that aren't out of mine in your pocket. There's just many options to explore besides gutting downtown offices and putting everybody out at the corner of Statesville Boulevard and Jake Alexander. I think that's about it.
Thank you. Our next question, we will start with Mr. Sides. What do you believe is Rowan County's business reputation, and how would you seek to attract new jobs to the county?
I'm going to take part of my time and give you some statistics and address a little bit more about education, because that's the one thing that people seem to hit the most. The Rowan County Commissioners have a budget of about $134 million. Of that budget, $99 million is actually in their control. The rest of that money is pass-through money. It comes through for the DSS, for the health department, and other agencies. We have no control over it. We can't control how it's spent. We can't move it somewhere else and use it for a different purpose. It's dictated it has to be spent for those particular uses. So we have $99 million, $72 million in property tax, $17 million in sales tax. We have approximately 26 different departments in the county, 750 employees. Out of that $99 million, $51 million goes into education in Rowan County. If you look at the national statistics and the state statistics, in Rowan County, we're ranked as 60th in our ability to fund education. But we fund at the 34th level. We're way ahead of what we're actually able to give toward education in Rowan County. You look at the unemployment, you look at the poverty, you look at the crime, you look at the median income, we're 34th, when according to state statistics, we ought to be 60th. So we don't cut education in Rowan County. I love children, I love school teachers, I love administrators, I love school board members, well, most of them. $35 million in current expense, $13 million in capital debt, $3 million to RCCC, $51 million. We don't have any more money. We can take the $48 million we spend on other programs and cut them out and give it to the schools, or we can raise your taxes a nickel or a dime, whatever you want. I'll vote for either one.
Thank you. Ms. Clues.
Thank you. So the question was business reputation and how we can attract jobs. I think Rowan's business reputation right now is a little shaky. But I also think we are on the cusp of being able to really take the resources that we have, our interstate highway, I mean, not just 85, but I-40 and I-77, our water resources, our transportation resources. We have property that runs along the interstate, which is where businesses want to be located. We have wonderful people who want to work. So I think if we're going to look at attracting jobs, the leadership on the county commission needs to be working with our partners daily in a positive manner. I think we need to roll out the red carpet, that we need to judiciously use our incentives that we have available here in the county to attract businesses and not chase businesses away. And even when a business does come, does say yes to us, then they're chastised on the front page of the paper. This has got to stop. We need new leadership. We need experienced leadership. We need someone who knows how to collaborate and cooperate and communicate. And I believe I am one of those people. Thank you.
Mr. Long.
We got to be business friendly people. Look at all the counties around us. They're growing. Go to Cabarrus County, look at the industry, look at the buildings that's going up. Go to Davison County. Go to Davie County. I drive all over the state for Rowan County Sheriff's Office, and I see people and I see businesses that are growing leaps and bounds, and then I come home and you see one little old business going up somewhere. We've got to be business friendly. We can't be arguing on TV, because if I was a business owner and I saw some of the past county commissioner meetings and some of the things that's went on, I would think there's no way I'm going to get in the middle of that. We've got to offer incentives. Whether we like it or not, we've got to offer incentives, because if we don't, somebody else will. We've got to streamline their ability to come in and build water, sewer, infrastructure. You got to have a one-stop shop. Salisbury City's been advertising it. Now it's time for us to implement it. We need a place that people can walk in, sit down with one or two people, find out this is the permits I need, this is who I need to see, and put it all in a package deal and hand it to them, so when they leave, they know exactly what's going to happen. And then not have to come back before the county commission or city council or whoever 20 times begging for this or begging for that. We ought to be able to put it together quickly, get it in front of our government, and put people to work, put up some businesses. And number two, take care of the people that are here. If you take care of your citizens, your business people, your corporations are going to see that, they're going to come. They're going to be here. If you take care of your own people, then other people will want to be part of that. Thank you.
If you get a 20-year look back, we left a lot of business on the table. We've had industries and recruitment that have come to the county, but for some reason or other, we just couldn't seem to connect. You ask yourself, why are the home values low in Rowan County? Why is the industry not connecting with Rowan County? It's, as I've said before, it's the image that we create. If you don't create a positive image, if you don't create an image that is conducive to industry and business growth, it's never going to go anywhere. We've been fortunate in Rowan County to have some industry and business that have stuck with us over the years. In this room, we have a great example, Mr. Kettner. You think about other industries that work as an example, that work ancillary with food lines. It's just one example. do we attract these businesses to come here to Rowan County to do business here? We have 20 global companies that are about the business here in Rowan County that have industry here. The footprint that we lay out is the important thing as we move forward. We're at a critical stage in this county. If we cannot move forward and create an atmosphere that's harmonious and an atmosphere that encourages businesses to relocate here, our educational system is going to suffer. Poverty is going to continue to rise. Home values are going to continue to decline. It's incumbent on all of us to get behind an effort to create a positive economic environment in this county. And to do that, we have to give the EDC, the people that do this for a living, we have to unhinge them and let them go to work. We have to move forward with recruits, global and regionally, to bring new ideas and business here, which will move us forward.
Thank you. Our last question, we will start with Mr. Green. Other counties and states are courting and cultivating new companies to move to their locations. Rowan County is in dire need of good-paying jobs that support a family. What tools would you use to attract new jobs to Rowan County? Mr. Green.
We all talk about jobs. I've had the opportunity for several years now to work with the EDC, and I have the first thing that comes to my mind is that people trying to look around to see where they're going to spend $10 million to build a new building. First thing they want is to see, how am I going to be accepted when I come into the community? I have to have a good attitude, and it comes first of all from our leaders on county commission. Second of all, they're going to want to know about prices and taxes. Those things are important to them, and incentives play a good part in the deal. But the next thing that they look at is what kind of product is available. We have no spec buildings going on right now in Rowan County. I have a plan to start a spec building using private money as an investment to be an additional incentive to what the county already does with public money, with the public money. So we can get the ball going. We can get folks interested in Rowan County with just a little incentive and just a little attitude there. Now, then another thing that they're looking for is an educated workforce. And we have Rowan Cabarrus Community College, one of the best around. We've got 2 liberal arts colleges that put out good graduates every year, and then Hood Theological Seminary who will pray for us at the jobs we get here. So we have just a great asset here in Rowan County, and with that being the centerpiece of what I would do in office, we can bring jobs to Rowan County.
Thank you. Mr. Calders.
I spoke before about the fact that we have opportunities here in distribution. I believe that is one of the biggest ways to quickly and effectively reduce our unemployment level, because those folks that are suffering with unemployment right now are those folks that can fill those jobs as drivers and pickers and packers. Along with those jobs, though, come computer people and order takers and salesmen and managers. So it does grow, but it's not a silver bullet. It's a practical way to get something done. You have to start with simple ideas and not shoot for pie in the sky, okay? Back to the other questions that we had before, education. Our educational system here is broken. Dr. Moody is looking forward to fix it. But the people who run our Board of Education, those elected officials, are the same people that have stood over the top of this educational system for the last 12 to 20 years. You need to consider where your problem really is. You need to change the direction of the ship. We have teachers who have some of the lowest supplements, yet we give $4.5 million in supplements. Our administrative staff, through the decisions of the board of directors of the schools, gets between 20 and 35% supplements. Our teachers get 6.5% of their pay in supplements. Change the direction of the ship. Get the leaders of your school board to change its direction. Take care of your teachers, not your administrators.
Thank you. Mr. Cutt.
It's funny I should receive this question because last night I was just kind of piddling around on the internet and I found some interesting information that Mooresville and Statesville is a micropolitan area. It means they have a population of over 10,000 but less than 50,000. Out of the 500 plus micropolitan areas in this country, not just our state, our country, Mooresville was ranked 35th, the Mooresville-Statesville area. I scrolled on down the page and I found the Salisbury area, another micropolitan in our country. In the last 10 years, we had dropped from, we were at 75th, I believe it was 2004, and today we stand at 175th. We've lost 100 places. If I look at what many people consider a short little trip down 150 or 70, about 15 miles, 20 miles, the difference between our two areas. We have I-85, they have I-77. We both have a lake. We have some colleges here. We have 3 higher learning institutions. We have a rail system here, so I believe might have a leg up on them. I believe the easiest thing to do and the smartest thing to do would take a little trip over to Iredell County and say, guys, what are y'all doing right? Show us what we need to do. I'm not too proud to ask for help. I don't know everything. I don't proclaim myself to know everything. If I can see that somebody's county is doing a little bit better, instead of throwing a lot of tax dollars at something, if I can see that Cabarrus County has got the problem nailed, ask, how did y'all do it? Thank you.
Mr. Evans.
You know, the question is, what are companies looking for? And as I read recruiting magazines, it tells us a few things. The number one thing, recruiters are looking for a trained workforce. That's why our education system, not only public schools, but our colleges are so important to us. 2, transportation corridors. We have all the roads we need. We have rail. We have the roads. 3, cheap, reliable energy, and we have that through Duke Energy right here in our back door. 4, a water supply for industry. Not everyone can say that. We can pump right out of the Yadkin. If it's industry that we want to bring here that's dependent on water, we can certainly do that. When I announced that I was running for county commissioner back in November, I began, my thing is it's got to be jobs and education and jobs. And I hope you'll pick one of these up when you leave, but this question is just right in my wheelhouse, and I've been talking about this ever since I started. Schools, jobs, economy, plan, and then lead. And so here are the things that I've been talking about, and I've already mentioned some of them today. But education improvement has to be the top priority. It cuts crime, it strengthens our tax base, and it helps recruit good jobs. We know this intuitively. Second, we have to create a countywide economic strategy for job creation. You realize we have no countywide economic strategy. That has to be done. Third, identify industries that we think we can best compete for all across the country. Focus on those and relentlessly pursue them and train our folks in those areas so that we have the most highly trained workforce in those areas in the region and in the country. Fourth, streamline our local regulations for prospective employers. Make sure they're transparent, make sure they're necessary, make sure they are cost effective. Then lastly, going on with building respectful relationships between boards and between communities. It can be done.
Thank you. We now will have our concluding remarks, and we will start with Mr. Sides.
Ronald Reagan said some people spend an entire lifetime wondering if they've made a difference in the world, but the Marines don't have that problem. I don't have that problem either. I know that with the help of others, I've made a difference in Rowan County government. The people of Rowan County know more about their local government and its operation today than they ever have in their history. They no longer have to tolerate alcohol on their county-owned property. They no longer have to worry about the perverts and the sex offenders in their parks. They no longer have to worry about being annexed and paying higher taxes to any municipality that would gobble them up. They have only seen one 1/4 cent property tax increase in the last 10 years. And oh, by the way, I didn't vote for that either. They have more liberty to use their property in ways that they see fit because of a simple and unrestricted land use plan. They soon will have the right to concealed carry on county property. They have someone who's proud to stand and fight for the right of their leaders to pray in Jesus' name. They have someone who they know will not give in to the special interest groups who expect them to foot the bill for their pet projects. If the people of this county want less, I say to them, elect somebody else to do this job. But I will not give them less than my best. I will continue to give them less government. Ronald Reagan said government is not the solution to our problem, government is the problem. I will continue to give them less taxes. Calvin Coolidge said collecting more taxes than is absolutely necessary is legalized robbery. Reagan said we don't have $1 trillion debt because we haven't taxed enough. We have $1 trillion debt because we spend too much, and it's not $1 trillion anymore. I will continue to give them less control. To quote Ronald Reagan, government's first duty is to protect the people, not to run their lives. Those are not my words, but they are my beliefs. One final quote from Ronald Reagan: I want you to know I will not make age an issue in this campaign. I will not exploit for political purpose any of my opponent's youth and inexperience.
Thank you.
Well said, Mr. Sides.
Withstanding the many good things that we have in Rowan County, if you look back, we've left a lot of industry, a lot of business, a lot of growth on the table. Our business infrastructure has not kept pace with the surrounding areas around us. Business growth in our region has started to rebound, while here in Rowan County we still suffer from small problems that continue to create and stop us from moving forward. We can't tolerate a weak business or industrial environment. The reason being, in a static business environment, poverty, crime, transient relocation, wages, all that suffer. We must use every business incentive and recruitment energy to attract new business development in this county. We must look not only at the business infrastructure in this county, but we have to look out globally. We have to look out into the region. We have to take advantage of the companies that are here to see if we can't attract and attach conjoined business that works with them. Economic development plan, county planning, business leaders, streamline regulatory boards. We need to create strategies that target business and industries that work with Rowan to move forward. We've met many assets in Rowan County. We have state-of-the-art communication, fiber. We've got air, interstate access, cultural arts, health care, colleges, public schools, Jackson River, recreational access, good neighborhoods, but most of all, we have an awakened community. We have an awakened voter agenda this time.
Thank you.
And if we can move forward with it, we'll move forward.
Thank you. Mr. Love.
Well, I looked down the table and I'm not the youngest here, so Mr. Sides couldn't have been talking about me. But I also look out across this crowd and I see many, many business owners and businessmen that have been very successful in Rowan County. And I guarantee you that many years ago when they started their business, they didn't jump through hurdles and they didn't have the problems that we have in this county today. We need some people that's going to come in with some solutions, some knowledge, and some hard work to straighten this out. I like to think of myself as a problem solver. That's what I do in most of my jobs. So it's time that we put somebody that's willing to be a problem solver in office. I say there's plenty of people that's tired of what's happened. I see that there's plenty of people that's ready for a change, and I'm that change for you people. And after 4 years, if you don't like me, tell me. I'll leave. I'll go away gracefully and I'll take the scolding. But I think whenever we get done, everybody's going to be happy. No, I'm not going to make you happy all the time, but I guarantee you this. The distinction, the arguing, and all the negative problems we have, they're going to stop because there's no need for them. There's no need to worry about who's in charge. There's more worry about who's going to make it happen and who's going to get it done. That's my platform, people. So hopefully when you go to the polls in 3 weeks, I'll see you vote. Thank you very much.
I just want to say thank you to all those who came and filled the room tonight. This is really exciting. I personally believe that this is the most important county election that we will have in the next 50 years. We can continue to go as we're doing now with the current leadership and continue to stand still, quite frankly, and not move forward. Or we can change leadership, change people, elect people whose point of view is different. Leadership that will be positive, experienced leadership that has the ability to collaborate and cooperate and communicate, to build bridges. I am so excited about living in Rowan. I love it here. I love the people. I love the nature and the history too. It is a good place to live. But we can't stand still anymore. We need to move forward. We need to tap into all of our resources, whether it's people resources and working together, or our natural resources, our infrastructure, our water, our highways, our trains, and yes, a fiber backbone that follows our railroad track. Because the jobs in the future are going to need to have good leadership that will help them be welcomed and care for our children.
Thank you. Mr. Freeman.
I'm probably not going to take all of my time right now, but I'll just tell you, I'll give you my 30 seconds. I'm a guy whose glass is always half full. I love Rowan County. I've been here since before my hair was gray. And I've been able to go to the ballparks. I've been able to go to the lakes. I've been able to go share time with folks, whether it's making spaghetti, whether it's going to PTA meetings. I've coached Little League ball. I've been involved with your kids, and you've been involved with mine. And this is a great place to live. We can sit up here and we can tell you that we are going to do our dead level best to bring jobs to Rowan County. Jobs help keep families together. Kids with families do better in school. kids with education are more likely not to be unemployed. We have a real problem in this country, not just with unemployment, but underemployment. That should be the backbone of what people are going to try to do on the commission, is to put families back together, make it easier for our schools to teach kids rather than to try to keep them in line. I have this attitude. I can work with folks. I've spent a lifetime building bridges with you folks in the community, and I love this county, and I'll work tirelessly for that.
Two.
Go ahead.
I'm going to hit an issue head on. I'm a Leadership Rowan graduate. I'm a proud past member of the County Personnel Commission and Planning Board. Been actively involved with the Chamber for 18 years, sat on its board multiple times, chaired several committees, been a division chair, and in 2012 I was the Chamber's chairman. As chairman, I led the Chamber, the EDC, the Tourism Authority, and Downtown Salisbury Incorporated through a healing process following a decade of bickering. Then I led the Chamber for 3 months while we had no Chamber president. In 2013, I led the search committee that brought our new Chamber president, Elaine Spalding, here to Rowan County. I'm an honored past recipient of the Chamber's Small Business of the Year Award. I'm a past member of the Economic Development Commission, an 18-year member of our local Civitan Club with my friend Jim here, and I'm currently chairman of the Airport Advisory Board, where I'm working with the North Carolina DOT, regional FAA officials in Memphis, and federal FAA officials in Washington, D.C. on an airport expansion project that will help bring badly needed jobs and tax base to Rowan County. I'm owner of the largest state farm agency in the county and one of the largest in the region, and twice have received my company's highest award, given to only the top 50 agents out of 17,000 nationally. I only tell you this because some have asked me, will you be controlled by other commissioners if you get on the board? To that I say, boulder dash. I am my own man. My history of positive leadership is clear, undeniable proof of this. I love this community and I value all of its municipalities. I pledge to work respectfully with every municipality. I pledge to work respectfully with every elected board, and I promise to never embarrass you, my friends, and the good people of Rowan County. My name is Greg Eds, and I'm asking for your vote.
Friends and neighbors, thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. And on May 6th, I hope I secure your vote. A special thank you to Catawba College, Salisbury Post, the Chamber of Commerce, and everyone else who came together to make this a success tonight. In 1989, I joined an organization that has produced many great leaders in various fields of study. Doctors, lawyers, CEOs, community leaders, and 38 astronauts. Men with names like Gerald Ford, Donald Rumsfeld, Steven Spielberg, Ross Perot, Neil Armstrong, as well as many others. All were leaders or pioneers in their fields. All of them were Eagle Scouts like myself, the highest rank in the Boy Scouts of America. As a Scout, an oath and a law are recited prior to each meeting. The Boy Scout oath is, on my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country, to obey the Scout law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. The Scout law that this oath speaks of is a Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. Most boys in Scouting who attain the rank of Eagle Scout do not just recite this, they make it a way of life. These are qualities that voters should be seeking in their candidates, in the people that they're going to elect into office. It's a code to live by. As Commissioner, I will continue to do the same and lead this county to greatness and prosperity for all to be proud of. On May 6th, vote Brandon Cup. Thank you.
Thank you all for putting up with us tonight, and I appreciate everyone that's here. I am one of those people who has chosen, again, to come here to Rowan County, it does have many attributes. I hope you will consider me for May 6th and on into November. When I look back on my decision to come here, I saw the beautiful lake. I presently live out there now. And I find that the people have been, on the most part, very warm and open. But I also have learned since I've been here that yes, there are 10 different municipalities, but there's a whole county out there of unincorporated people. And I'm wondering if they understand that based on what I see here with this board, with this group of people, will we go back to 2004 and re-annex the airport? Will the people in their drive on the county committee in the future basically do what the city of Salisbury, and in that matter, the failing school board want done? I want to represent the whole 138,000 people that live here, not just those people that live in a particular municipality. I find that freedom of living outside of the city limits very rewarding, and I hope that you all will still consider me for the Republican ticket. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Please join me in thanking our candidates. On behalf of the Rowan County Chamber of Commerce, Salisbury Post, and Catawba College, thank you all for joining us. A reminder, this election is on Tuesday, May 6th, with early voting starting on Thursday, April 24th, and running through Saturday, May 3rd. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you at the polls.
Mary Francis.